Yeah, Hanson used to be a real thing in America for those of you who were actually, alive in the 90s. But moving right along from that whole deal, JP here, hashtag Rebellion Project, as always. Got a message last night. Somebody said, hey, why don't you make a video over grace? I was like, yeah, these are like 4-minute videos. I don't have 6 weeks to cover God's grace. But here we're going to try to condense it. We're going to talk about the concept of grace and what God means by His grace as quickly and streamlined as possible. So first, let's narrow down the idea of grace, because grace has been around for so long that there's so many different definitions, such as to fall from grace, which would be to fall out of favor. Then you also, have to grace one with your presence, which would essentially be honoring them with your presence. But in the Christian and biblical sense of the word, although, let's not forget that by receiving God's grace, there can be no greater honor bestowed on us as we are here on this world than God's grace. But in this instance, grace is speaking of God's blessings, which can be, any multitude of His blessings, whether it be, strength or, something financial or monetary to support your family, or, an ability or a talent that you may possess that other people do not have. In Hebrews 4:16, we talk about God's grace, and it says, let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in a time of need. Because God's grace is literally one of the most important things in our life. It is the most significant blessing that we get. It is what gives us strength. It is where we find our hearts. God's grace is everything. I have no idea how that keeps happening. I really don't. Grace, when you think about it, you think, okay, that's a woman's name. That's feminine. A ballet dancer is graceful. They're majestic. They're balanced. But grace is power. It's strength as well. Grace is God's strength inside of us. His power working its way through us. God's grace is Him juicing us up with a power that cannot be matched on this world. It is a strength that cannot be overcome by worldly things. But like Hebrews 4:16 says, we have to go forth and seek that out in confidence. We have to turn to God and say, Lord, I know what your power and grace is. I know what you can overcome, what I can overcome through you. And open our hearts up and say, Lord, fill me with your grace, with your strength, with your power. Because I will not allow myself to be overcome by this world. And I know that through you, all things are possible. Through your grace, there is nothing that can hold me back.